So the new Joker trailer dropped. What's this guy all about? What's he doing? He's on the train, he wears the makeup. What's going on with this movie? To answer that question, I don't know. I haven't seen it, okay? And don't tell me that you have, because I know that you're a liar. All I can tell you is what we know based on the information in the trailer. So let's take a look at said trailer.
Arthur.
Seems like a pretty good place to stop. Okay, so right off the bat, we know that the Joker's name is Arthur. It's been reported that his name is actually Arthur Fleck. A lot of people speculate that that's a stab at Ben Affleck, and I don't know why they would do that. But nonetheless, his name is Arthur. Contrast to past incarnations where they call him Jack, which I say, why would you do that? He's Jack, he's the Joker, that's two different cards. Why would you be named Jack if you become the Joker? I don't understand it! We see that he has a very odd relationship with his mother. At first, it kind of seems like it's sort of a creepy Stockholm Syndrome kind of thing, but then we later see that he's honestly just taking care of her. However, a man that is cooped up in a house with his mother all day, making her laugh, making her smile, and is also in therapy, something might be a little off. Maybe he becomes the Joker. I want to move a little further down into the trailer to discuss the universe. Obviously, it's set in the 80s, just like everything has to be set in the 80s.
We love the 80s.
Nonetheless, this is not set in the 80s for some nostalgic factor, I feel. If you think about it, the reason that old Batman media works so well, not just Batman 89, but like the animated series, it was set in that weird gothic sort of misty, there's neon lights everywhere 80s vibe. If anything, it just adds to the aesthetic. But let's go ahead and talk about Gotham. It looks like New York City. I hope it's not New York City. The problem that I have with The Dark Knight versus a film like Batman 89 or even Batman Begins is because those films felt like Gotham, even if it's just because everything looked orange. It just looks too much like New York City. That's the big problem I had with The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. Fantastic films as they are, it's just not Gotham. But what's in Gotham? You can't have Gotham without Arkham Asylum, or in this case, what? I think that this is the Arkham Asylum of the universe. Maybe it's just a hospital that takes a lot of mentally ill or mentally unstable patients, and it could later turn into some sort of an asylum. Let's talk about Arthur, though. What's he up to? So it looks like he's one of those guys that just really can't hold down a job. Maybe that's because of his relationship with his mother, but it looks like his jobs that he takes, he does just because he has fun doing them. And who has fun doing the sign flippy thing? In a clown costume, no less. Obviously, that doesn't work out too well for him, because Arthur, if you haven't noticed, likes getting the crap beaten out of him. That's something that might be a precursor to when Joker actually meets Batman, which Joker does meet Batman. So it's been confirmed that this young boy that Joker is sticking his fingers on is, in fact, a young Bruce Wayne. We'll get to this later, but this has something to do with one of two questions that I'm going to ask this film. Nonetheless, it's obvious that this Joker will be significantly older than Batman. However, we probably won't see Batman at all. And that's the point of this film. It's a film about the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix wanted to take this role because he wanted to do a very interesting and in-depth character study on a character like this. And so far, it looks like he's doing pretty great. You know, this isn't some Heath Ledger knockoff, it's not some Mark Hamill knockoff. This looks like it's something that is completely in its own. And just physically, looking at Phoenix, he's definitely taking this role much seriously than anybody else might have taken it. Sorry. And just based on the way he looks alone, I'm excited to see where he takes the character mentally. Now let's go ahead and wrap up with that and talk about the two questions that I have. Remember them? I said something about them earlier. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much. One of those questions is, who is this Joker? Most comic book movies, if not all comic book movies, derive some sort of source material inspiration. And I think the inspiration is, wait, hold it, you're not going to believe this, guys. This is crazy. This is crazy. The Killing Joke! Ah, yes, The Killing Joke, the pinnacle in every Joker story. The Dark Knight Returns to Batman, but with the Joker. And why wouldn't it be? I mean, you've got this character that for decades and decades, nobody knew where he came from. And now you have this origin story. You think. Remember, the Joker doesn't quite remember himself. That makes me ask, is this the Joker? Does the Joker have an origin story? Is he supposed to have an origin story? Look at every origin story of the Joker that you know. The film might be pretty good. Pretty good at best. Now look at films or media that don't have the origin story. I'm talking about the animated series. I am talking about The Dark Knight. Even the Adam West 60s show. You don't know where this guy came from. He just popped out of nowhere. However, that leads me to believe and to fear that this is going to be a sympathy pick for the Joker. I don't want to sympathize with the Joker. I don't want to empathize with the Joker. The thing that made him great in The Dark Knight is that audiences would sit down and think, oh my god, I actually agree with this dude. However, that is as far as the empathy should go. The Joker is the symbol of chaos. The Joker is not somebody that we are supposed to feel for or even relate to. However, my second question, much like the first, is who is this Joker when there is no Batman? You might notice that Joker and Batman run into each other quite a bit. You might notice that Joker might be held to the status of Batman's arch nemesis. These are characters that play cat and mouse with each other. One could not exist without the other. Batman introduces this order, somebody like Joker wants to stop it. So I'm interested to see how that flips. Does this influence Bruce Wayne to become Batman? But can the Joker really be the Joker without his arch nemesis? Without his, arguably, best friend? Nonetheless, I'm incredibly excited for this Joker movie. I remember seeing The Dark Knight when I was a child, and I could barely comprehend who the Joker was or what he stood for. I just knew that this would be some of my favorite media growing up. Have we tried the Joker before and it didn't work? Yes. Have we tried it since The Dark Knight and it didn't work? Yes. Will this work? There's really no way to tell. I guess we're just gonna have to wait.